What's dangerous is when the universe pick you and you put on the magic glasses. There's rules that go with them. You can never take them off. You never see things as they're supposed to be. You see things as they are. And you can never force nobody else to wear them.
I think while I lie awake and contemplate tonight are wearing me out. Well, maybe tomorrow the world will wake and get it right, but I have my doubts, yeah. During the day, well, I design machines of war that scream through the sky. 'Cause I, for one, I like to go to bed free at night under these stars and stripes. And I have my doubts that we're coming out. Yes, I have my doubts, and I have my doubts that we'll make it back out. Yes, I have my doubts, but they'll wind you up and pull the cord until you're spun right out. And I don't understand. Roll the dice and raise the price to feed the machine's mouth. Call it the progress of man. And I have my doubt that we're coming out. Yes, I have my doubts. And I have my doubts that we'll make it back out. I have my doubts, so I'll drink my stuff and raise some hell and shoot my guns to the end of my time. You can have the booze and go to hell and take the guns, but I know they won't be mine. We're coming out. Yes, I have my doubts, and I have my doubts that we'll make it back up. Yes, I have my doubts. So we're all messed up and out of touch. Let's text someone who's in the other room. So don't wonder why we don't say hi or know anyone. I might as well move to the moon. So maybe I'm wrong. Well, I hope that I'm wrong. So maybe I'm wrong. Well, I hope that I'm things I think while I lie awake and contemplate at night are wearing me out.
Good evening. Welcome to the Fuster Cluck that is the nightly news. Man, I just cannot believe what is going on in Congress. Not only the aid package that was passed, that's bad enough, but then this whole NSA bill. I don't know, folks. I mean, I keep hearing the same thing every 4 years, but I don't see where it's making a difference. Not even a little bit. Not even when, quote unquote, the right team is in charge. So they can sit on their hands and do squat? Because that's what I recall happening when Trump was in charge and he had a Republican House and Senate. Everybody sat on their hands for what, 2 years? Why? Oh, well, because he can't do a lot until his lame duck session. Or, oh, he's just playing 8D chess. No. You're all getting taken for fools. They're going to play this game as long as people play it with them. It's not new. This is nothing new. It's happened in different nations across the planet. Ever since the beginning of recorded history, you've had nonsense like this go on. It happens. It's called the end of a nation, in most cases. And it's not going to be pretty. It's not going to be nice. It's probably going to be a little bit offensive. And I'm pretty sure that they're not going to be interested in using pronouns. Not positive on that. They might. I don't know. I still got the same advice I've always got, because that's the only thing we can do. And that's be ready to take care of the micro. Because we have no control over the macro. Not even a little bit. Not even on a level that we're supposed to have. Not even close. We can keep bullshitting ourselves and bullshitting each other, saying, oh, it's not like that, all you want, but I'm not going to lie to myself. And I'm damn sure not going to let somebody else lie to me. All we can do is keep getting ready. I've got my own theory, and I've stayed firm behind this theory for a long time. And that is that I believe that these countries are working together, and I believe good deal. There was a found dog in town here, and it has been returned home, so good deal. Anyway, hey, I care more about the dog finding its home than what Congress does, because we're not in control of that. Like I said, not even a little bit. And we're not gonna be after the election either. So it's probably a good time that we start worrying about other Americans. That's one thing I don't understand about this nation. This nation used to be a nation of lifting each other up. At least that's what the majority did. I mean, believe me, you still had people in the upper echelons that were doing plenty of stepping down on each other and other people, but there was a lot less of them. And there were a lot more people who had a little bit of, care for other people. And we lost that. And since we've lost that, since we've let the government pit us against one another and get us fighting over the most ridiculous stuff, and even getting us to question things. And I'm sorry, this is going to piss off some people on the left, but I don't care. But if you can somehow equate that abortion is anything other than murder of an innocent human being, go right ahead. But until then, we need to knock this shit off and stop playing with people. Same with all the trans stuff. We need to stop playing with people. Do you realize one of the most screwed up industries in the United States, and it's part of healthcare, which makes it even worse, is the mental health industry? The most, hands down, screwed up. What do you think's one of the more important industries in the world? Well, these kumquats are trying to tell people that men can have babies or men can have babies and, women can grow testicles. I don't know. But they're trying to tell you all this nonsense. This is the individuals that is supposed to keep us heading in the right direction mentally, right? I mean, that's a pretty powerful position if you think about it. That's why they're going after the kids. Because, see, they may not be able to get you or I on board. But by the time that those kids that are in elementary school, middle school, and what have you, right now, by the time that they get our age, it's going to be nothing but pods and owning nothing and being happy. Because they're being marched right into it. And you know what? The adults are doing little. Little. I mean it. Little. How can I say such a thing? Okay, what are they doing? Well, we wrote a congressman. Oh, good job. We're back to that again? How much good is that doing? Is it reversing anything? Or are they now putting litter boxes in kids' schools, too? No means no. Period. No means no. And we are only able to affect our micro. So, if it's your town, your county, that's got the litter boxes in the school, maybe some people ought to have a meeting or something. Enough's enough. They will play the game as long as they're allowed to play it. You cannot tell me that if you put 10,000 people together to go remove a school board, that you can't make it happen. 10,000 people. 10,000 people. How many people fit in a ball stadium again? 10,000 people. Really, it is just a drop in a hat. I mean, it does consist of pretty much our town because we're right around 10,000 people. But there's a lot of towns bigger than this one. A hell of a lot bigger than this one. And even here, if you could put together 3,000 people here to make sure that the nonsense stopped, I guarantee you there ain't going to be a soul walk into that school and be stupid enough to do it anyway. Why is it that when we do something stupid, we get thrown in jail, we get thrown in prison? Because bad actions have consequences. And although that type of system doesn't always work, it does keep a hell of a lot of people in line. Consequences. Right? we're raised, we always get told about the consequences. We always have to pay the consequences. But it seems like they're in control of who has to pay those consequences. I mean, you can have people in government do all kinds of stuff. Look at Pelosi and her insider trading stuff. Oh, that's fine. Fine. See, they pick and choose who has to pay the consequences or not. And since they have a monopoly on force, or at least they think they do, who's going to stop them? To steal a line from Hillary Clinton, what does it matter anyway? It will stop when we stop it. Until then, we hear no bullshit about how somebody's doing so much to put an end to it. It's ridiculous. Oh, I called my congressman. Oh, how good's that doing for you again? When you got a House Speaker that's an absolute traitor, and he's not the only one, and it's not the only time. How come it's every time? How come it's every time? How come every time an important vote comes up to where you really need the people to vote American? You know what I mean? Voting American. It used to be a thing. When you need your Congress people to vote American, and they vote Ukrainian, they vote Israeli, they vote Taiwanese. Whatever happened to the American vote? Don't see much of that anymore. Oh, you get a few that spouted off. You know, Marjorie Taylor Greene plays a good game. But I think that's all it is. I think it's a game. Right? I think that you're always going to have a few standouts regardless. And if they didn't have some standouts, then it would look really suspicious. So, long as they can pick a few standouts to keep things riled up, to keep it looking like there's really this battle for the American people. Did you see much of a battle for the American people when they voted to give all that money to other countries? Did you see much of a battle for the American people when they refused to talk about closing the borders? I don't. And it will stop when we stop it. But we have to take care of our area because we all can't just run everywhere. So we all need to pick up the shit where we are and fix it. If you happen to live by the border, I guess it's time to have a meeting. You know, if you were a business person and somebody was doing shitty business with you, you would find somebody better to do business with. Right? Right. So, what's the problem? I think the best people for Americans to do business with is other Americans. What kind of American are you? An American American. Not a Ukrainian American, not an Israeli American, not a Taiwanese American. I know I made that up. No, an American American. That's what kind of American we are. Now, I don't know what these things are that's holding these elected positions. They're not Americans. Certainly not American Americans. So maybe we need to stop doing business with them. I'm serious. I'm serious. We are what gives them power. All we got to do is stop giving it to them. What are they going to do? They're going to come into each and every one of our homes. No, you better. You think they got the manpower to do that? Oh, they've got enough manpower to knock off some standouts, like I was talking earlier. you just have a few standouts and they'll just knock them right off. Waco, Ruby Ridge, that kind of thing. But see, the people have the power. We truly do. Bundy Ranch. Oh, what was that? I don't know. Power is ours. The reason we don't use it is truly Stockholm Syndrome. And laziness. Lots of laziness. I don't know, folks. But I do know it's not going to get any better. And I don't, I don't know that people are ever really going to catch on. But it's a game. And we're all stuck in this frickin' game. And I'm tired of getting beat by the learning curve. I know I keep saying that. Maybe people should stop beating us with it. Because there's some of us that get it. But we get mocked and we get waved off. Because we get it. It's if you're so weak that you got to hold on to some false hope, and you can't let anybody destroy that, but then you need to sit down. Sit on the bench, shut your mouth, stop trying to take the lead, sit the fuck down. In summary, I think the Americans need to either shit or get off the pot. One or the other. One or the other. Anyway, let's do some news about other countries, because our country's bullshit. Russia. I've only got 4 articles out. Shit or get out. That's right. Shit or get out the pot. Right on, brother. Oh, it didn't come up here in the damn thingy do. It probably will after a while. That thing's half stupid. Kind of like Congress. Anyway. U.S. aid will send tens of thousands of Ukrainians to the meat machine. And, sends our nation itself to the ATM machine to pull out more money we don't have. It's ridiculous. Anyway, the article. I only got 4 open, by the way. 4 articles open, and of course I got the headlines. Be a pretty easy night. Kiev expects that with the military aid approved by the U.S. amounting to billions of dollars, it will strengthen its defense against Russia, while the representative of Russia at the UN warns that the money will be encapsulated and tens of thousands of Ukrainians will go to the Mincer. Sounds pretty accurate. Yesterday, Saturday, 4/20, the U.S. House of Representatives voted to advance a long-awaited nearly $61 billion aid package, why everybody was stoned, for Ukraine to the Senate, where it was expected to be approved and subsequently signed by President Joe Biden. Not if we break his fingers. I'm kidding. Russia's Deputy Representative of the United Nations in New York, Dmitry Polyansky, wrote today that there is nothing to celebrate here. He said the war will continue and more money will be pocketed, more weapons will be stolen, and tens of thousands of Ukrainians will go to the meat grinder. He added that Ukraine's defeat by Russia is inevitable. And if you know a damn thing about a damn thing, that's something you understand. Meanwhile, Ukrainian Prime Minister Denis Shmyhal wrote on Facebook that about $50 billion of the package will be spent on Ukraine's defense. Call that defense. This means more weapons for Ukraine, including more anti-aircraft and longer-range missiles to reach out and touch someone. Another $7.8 billion is earmarked to support Ukraine's budget, so we can pay all of their government people. But, hey, hell with the vets. Also, $1.57 billion is planned in financial aid and $400 million for border protection and their border protection. Fuck block ours. Let's see. And demining, according to Xinhua. Don't you love that? We're going to go and we're going to pay out money to protect their border. Isn't that precious? That's just precious. I mean, would it be too much just to up against the wall and you know, would it be too much? The money will also be used to finance the rehabilitation of important infrastructure, he said. I mean, we got a bridge that needs to be put back together, you know. The country's energy facilities are often the target of missile and drone attacks from Russia. Well, keep the power off. You don't turn the power on, he won't bomb the shit out of your power. I mean, why not? Ukrainian Foreign Minister Dmytro Kuleba wrote on X about the decision that it was a bad day for Putin. A bad day for anyone who dared to believe that America could hold back when it comes to protecting something and those it defends. Not its own border, mind you, but we're going to protect the Ukrainian border. Why? Because your vote counts. That's why. Not for you, but it counts for Zelensky. I mean, he's raking it in good, ain't he? Did you think? No. Nonsense. Russia, laughing their asses off, is saying the U.S. fiasco will be resounding. They will have the same end in Ukraine as the war in Vietnam and Afghanistan and so many others we shall not name. Russia said today that the U.S. House of Representatives' approval of $60.84 billion in additional aid to Ukraine shows that Washington is moving deeper into a hybrid war with Russia that will end in humiliation comparable to the Vietnam Wars. Oh, hey, it even said it. Or Afghanistan. Hey, give me that crystal ball back. The U.S. House of Representatives yesterday approved with broad bipartisan support a $95 billion package providing security assistance to Ukraine, Israel, and Taiwan. Russian Foreign Ministry spokeswoman Maria Zakharova said it was clear the United States wanted Ukraine to fight to the last Ukrainian with attacks on Russian soil and Russian civilians, among others. Washington's ever deeper slide into hybrid war with Russia will turn into a resounding and humiliating fiasco for the United States, like in Vietnam and Afghanistan, Zakharova said. Didn't we already say that? We already said that. Russia, he said, would give an absolute and decisive response to the U.S. move to get more involved in the war with Ukraine. Central Intelligence Agency Director Billy Burns, warned last week that without more U.S. military support, Ukraine may lose on the battlefield, but with support, Kiev's forces could hold out this year. You're full of it. Not going to hold out 2 months. United States is repeated, and I mean, the aid we're giving them now isn't going to make it past 2 months, is what I'm saying. Not that it's all going to be over with in 2 months. Oh, hell no. We'll find some more money to print. We still got paper and ink. Get the hell out of the way. He's trying to move that pile of money through there. God. The United States has repeatedly ruled out sending its own or NATO troops. Oh, wait, because there's more headlines. To Ukraine, which is fighting a grueling artillery and drone war with Russia along a heavily fortified 1,000-kilometer front. But hang on to that not sending Americans thing. We're not done with the news yet. Russia now controls about 18% of Ukraine in the east and south of its neighboring country and has been steadily gaining ground, after a counteroffensive launched by Kiev in 2023 failed to make any significant headway against Russian troops, entrenched behind minefields over which patrol drones and with heavy artillery to protect them. Yes, I was working on a joke after I said headway. I'll leave it alone. Ukraine has for months called on the United States to release more aid and weapons to help fight it, although Russian officials have said that the U.S. aid will not change the eventual course of the war. True. Zakharova said that every day people in Ukraine are being forced to slaughter as cannon fodder, but the United States is no longer betting on a Ukrainian victory against Russia. Washington, he said, hopes the Ukraine will be able to hold out until U.S. presidential election in November. You gotta push him. I don't care if he's 8 months old. Get him out on that front line. Tie the rattle to the trigger. There you go. That's where pretty much they're at this point, I think. Oh, I'm sorry. Did I say we were going to send military to Ukraine? No, I meant advisors. Advisors. Just to get some advice. I mean, you ask for advice, right? Just think of it kind of like, I don't know, Dear Abby for Ukrainians. That's it. Just Dear Abby. Yeah, you raised the mortar up another 12 degrees. Dear Abby. U.S. sending up to 60 military advisors to Ukraine. Russia gains momentum. Says the United States is weighing sending additional military advisors to Ukraine as Russia gains momentum, a Pentagon spokesman told Politico. As Pentagon spokesman Lieutenant General Pat Ryder clarified, the U.S. military will not have a military role, never, but will advise and support the Ukrainian government and Ukrainian military. Will they protect the Ukrainian borders too? During this conflict, the U.S. State Department has reviewed and adjusted our presence in the country as the security situation has evolved. We are currently considering sending several additional advisors to augment the Office of Defense Cooperation at the embassy, Ryder said in a statement to Politico, noting that staff are subject to the same travel restrictions as all embassy employees. The Office of Defense Cooperation, always according to Lieutenant General Ryder, performs a variety of advisory and support missions, and while it is staffed exclusively by U.S. Department of Defense personnel, it is embedded within the U.S. Embassy under the command of the Chief of Mission, like the rest of the embassy staff. It's just like sending in the Peace Corps, that's all, right? Ryder declines Girl Scouts. Right, we're just sending some Girl Scouts. Ryder declined to discuss specific personnel numbers for reasons of operational security and force protection. The group of military advisors will support logistics and oversight efforts for weapons sent by the U.S. to Ukraine, according to 4 U.S. officials and a person familiar with the plans, who also spoke on condition of anonymity, something like that. Although it was not clear how many additional U.S. military personnel would eventually be sent to Ukraine, because this is just a start, 2 of the U.S. officials said the number would rise to 60,000, probably, before it's all over with. It's crazy. Crazy, crazy, crazy. Will not stop till we stop it. Telling you. They don't care. Hang on. Get this shared out. Just more to go along the lines of what we've been talking about. Crazy. I have a couple of vapes. I'll get started on this one. Not a lot to say about this, just that it happened and my thoughts about it. So, obviously, you can see by the headline, it's an old ship, been used for a long time. Not like it's really an active combat ship at this point, right? But it did submarine rescue. That's what they did with it. So you may wonder, why would the Ukrainians hit a ship that was built in 1912 and obviously isn't going to be deploying the latest in ballistic missiles? Why? Why would you hit that? Well, was it the AN-224? I don't know the numbers off the top of my hand or top of my head for sure. But I'm talking about the airplane that was taken out right away in like the very, very early days of the conflict. They took out that big ass plane. I think it's an Antonov AN-224, I think it was. Something like that. Was it 225? No. That could have been, I guess. It might have been 225. So, anyway. Yeah, here we go. The only completed AN-225 was destroyed in the Battle of Antonov Airport during the 2022 Russian invasion of Ukraine. Yeah, that big bastard. So, Putin took that out. And I'm wondering if maybe that's why Ukraine made a point to take that out. Kind of a tit for tat is what I see there. But yup. Alright. Well, that was easy. Have a couple of vapes. I'll run through these headlines. And been playing a lot of VTOL VR and loving it. I love that game even more every time I play it. That thing is so much fun. I just go in the multiplayer servers and just raise all hell. As long as I can get the F-45, which is pretty much an F-35. So, there's not a lot of different aircraft you can choose from. I don't have the Apache. There's an Apache helicopter. I don't have that. But I've got something that's very similar to an F-14. I think the one that comes with it is real close to like an F-18. And then there's the Tyro 55 or whatever, and that thing's, I don't know, F-16-ish, maybe. Not really, but I mean, that would be kind of an equivalent to it, I would say. But, and then there's this weird looking thing, that, like the first one that you can fly. It's, think of an F-35 cargo plane. Kinda. It's got jets that it tilts up and it can land vertical. It's not a real aircraft. Technically, none of them are real aircraft, but some of them very closely match others, like the T-45, I think it's what it's called. No, it's not the EF-45, right? No. EF-24, that's it. The F-14, they call an EF-24. The F-35 is the F-45A. Or it might be B, I don't know. Lots of fun, though. Oh, and I'm learning that the best method to dodge missiles isn't to close your eyes and scream like a girl. It's to keep your eyes open and watch what the missile does and just avoid it. It can happen. Or you can close your eyes and scream like a girl, but it's probably going to hit you. I have a lot of fun with it. Funny thing though, there aren't a lot of people that talk in it. And I find that pretty amazing because we've got voice communications and stuff. No, there's a lot of people out there that must be just like me that's out there just blowing shit up in silence. I guess sometimes I got the MP3 player going, playing some Tool or something. It's awful nice of them putting an MP3 player right in our cockpit. Alright. Do some headlines here. Kiev deliberately targeting journalists, says Kremlin. Musk's ex threatens legal action over church stabbing footage. Potential U.S. sanctions on IDF are absurd, says Netanyahu. I don't even want to talk about that stupid-ass bill. No consensus in West on seizing Russian assets, says Washington Post. It's been a little while, Steve. I had said something to you about it once before, that because I contacted them because I caught it, and I contacted them, and they more or less identified you as a friend, and I'm like, I've never met him, I've never been toe to toe with the man. He's been watching our show for a long time. They don't care. Now they didn't start doing that, Steve, until after all the COVID. I mean, it hadn't been a super long time. It's ever since all the companies have been on the big squeeze and retail's been down. That's when they stopped doing it, and it took me a little bit before I caught on, because there were other people that used the Amazon link as well, and now there's not very many people that use it, so it's very obvious. Let's see. Where are we at? Europe's largest gas field shuts down. German-made Leopard towed to trophy show outside of Moscow. Musk decries lack of exit strategy in Ukraine conflict. Russian economic growth strong, says IMF. Moscow issues dire warning after Ukraine aid bill. Wait, did I read that one or the other one? I think I read the other one. Biden asks Americans to choose between freedom and democracy. How about individual liberty? That's what I want. Individual liberty. Kiev malls creating penal units. Oh, right on, Steve. Yeah. It'd been a little while. It had been a little while. Not super long, but let's see. Ukraine considering military training in schools. Gotta love indoctrination. Germany to ban smoking weed in the train stations. Nothing about the airports, though. You can toke up at the airports. Now, I don't know. Japanese naval choppers suffer fatal collision. I mean, you might want to get high when you get high. Who knows? Did those. The Chinese bowed down to the Russian army. What it made is a super bomb. Maybe we need super bomb force. Yeah, that'll fix it. We need super bomb force. Israel angered over possible U.S. sanctions on IDF Netzah Yehuda Battalion. No, I don't like if you're talking about you chewing their asses out. I don't care. Chew away. Israel angered over possible U.S. sanctions on. I read that. Volodar next target. Russian army captures Semenovka, Novomikhailovka, sure, and Bogdanovka. Releases forces for offense. Damn, I don't know if I can walk straight after that. Iran's supreme leader thanked armed forces for his Israel attack. Ukraine secures another benefactor. Or fool. Yeah, fool. Ukraine will have chance at victory, says Zelensky. Are you out of your damn mind? U.S. voter interest sinks to historic low, says a poll. Well, I wonder why. I wonder why. Why? You ran away. I know, I shouldn't do that. U.S. lawmakers scared of being framed for kiddie porn, says Tucker Carlson. Die, MAGA, die, says a Democrat congressional candidate. I didn't say it. Let's see. Russia's... Oh, that one I did cover. New agreements are coming. In Russia, a high-ranking delegation from North Korea. Vladimir Zelensky says call for quick approval of aid by the Senate and immediate transfer of weapons to Ukraine and all that money we need to launder for you. Let's see. Russian... Oh, I talked about that. Deep collapse dominoes for Ukrainian army. Kiev loses strategic Akaratino Junction after overwhelming Russian attack. Rockets fired at U.S. base in Syria, says Reuters. Israel promises painful blows to Hamas. And NATO members have military personnel in Kiev, says Stoltenberg. Not Gutenberg, but Stoltenberg. Gutenberg wasn't there. Not even in a movie. Let's see. That might be, that might be, Steve. I don't know. See, that's the thing, is it's not supposed to be friends and all that stuff, but family members and stuff like that. And I get that, but it, I mean, I don't understand where their basis is when it comes to you using the link. I mean, it just doesn't make sense, other than they're trying to find reasons not to pay out on it. And when I contacted them back about it, I told them flat out I felt it was pretty damn petty. It's not like you're spending thousands of dollars and they're having to really pay me a lot. I mean, it's ridiculous. It is truly ridiculous. But believe me, I wrote him a nasty message when I found out about it. Anyway, I am going to get out of here. I am going to go lay down and rest. And God willing, I'll be back tomorrow night. It's a non-city council meeting night, so I will be broadcasting tomorrow night. And, can't think of anything else. Yeah, I hope you get better, brother. It's no fun being sick. Blue's not felt well either, so she's been battling her ear. And it's been a bit stressful. But hopefully that'll get squared away soon enough, and she'll feel better. Hopefully you'll get squared away and feel better. I can't speak. There's those Russian names. Anyway, I am going to get out of here. God willing, we'll be back tomorrow. As always, God bless you. We love you. Be one with your spirit. And shalom.